Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at freedom of speech. I'm also going to be doing the November predictions. It's going to be in separated parts. Some that's going to be prophecy, some of it's predictions. Um, I think because I've got multiple things that are coming through and it's a bit overwhelming. Not in terms of there is chaos in the world, but because I'm not getting it out and just sometimes to dedicate the time when you know you want your content to be appreciated or viewed, at least. So today we're doing freedom of speech. Why I chose to do this reading is because I think at one stage we were really heading towards freedom of speech. However, as we were heading towards it, I see that actually we were blindfolded, that if we overpass the freedom of speech, there'd be blocks like overshadowing, there'd be silencing. And we're able to see that now. So are we still heading for further freedom of speech and we're seeing more? Or are we taking a backward step? We're seeing a lot in the Western world right now in terms of freedom of speech. And you're not allowed to have your own version of something. It's kind of like a dictated version, the version that's put out there. And I see this even with my psychic reads. So people that come on and kind of troll because there'll be someone else who's done a reading on someone who's passed or a missing case, and they like the drama. For example, one that makes me laugh is on a recent passing of a famous person. The person says, I'm a channeler, I've been channeling the person for the past week. And then in another comment, she says, go see this psychic's read. People want a narrative and then they fully believe in it. And sometimes I've challenged people, and that was on the Jay Slater one, but I've realized, and I've said this before, you will battle against levels of consciousness, and even people who are putting out a message that's clickbait or selling bait, or even you don't understand the message between the etheria and the soul. And that's what makes me also just chuckle at these individuals. So it's kind of like a narrative from that circulates and circulates and circulates. And it's interestingly, in terms of certain channels, the ones that I've always been pulled to, apart from like the large podcasts on, maybe health and education or whatever it is the smaller ones. And it seems like if you speak truth and authenticity, you might not hit that big melodrama. So it's that dictated version, even from hierarchies. And if you align with it, it's all good for you. If not, then, there's various things that go on. The thing is, we're not given on whole truths on things. And people are not liking this. In the past, we wouldn't question a police officer, a teacher, the government. But now there's exposure and we do, right? So it's things where we're not seeing truths. That is a problem. So let's pull some cards on. I've got, for some reason, an instruction card there. You can probably directly see, you don't need a tarot reader to tell you that if you align with the narrative of the majority and not yourself, then you're going in the right direction. You're not in reverse. having the new or ideas, seeing clearly, and just rather than speaking your opinion, is being quiet and moving away peacefully. This was freedom of speech as it was opening up 5-10 years ago. Sorry. So let's look at the cards that it brings through. As we're covering one topic, it's probably going to be a shorter read. How are we looking at freedom of speech now? Can you see, right? Here it's we're seeing through the dark, we're seeing through the lights, okay? And I feel like this card should be here, where I really mentioned that we need to not have these hierarchical governments, leaders. Remember, there's a disclaimer here, okay? We're seeing the truth of things, and we want to stand up for our rights. Our rights, especially when we're getting silenced and left out in the cold. Our rights when it comes to even our health, okay, is coming up here. But again, we see that the narrative, remember the 3 was here. It starts off with the narrative, and then you need to be quiet. Here, we're seeing it, and then the narrative becomes clear, and then you have to follow, split the deck, to be in line with justice. And a lot of this narrative is from the higher ups. So here, I can really see that there's censored shadow banning even on media sites, and we've seen that happen to people. You probably see it. I've covered a couple of sensitive topics that has definitely affected my channel, and again, we're being directed to think. Maybe I pull cards on that. I just feel we're getting directed. Let me pull some cards. I know what I want to say psychically, but let's just see if the cards confirm. I just want 2 cards. Yeah, so look at this. The divine feminine is moving forward, and we can see that. I wanted to cover this in November predictions. There's a dark feminine energy as well present. And the success is really cutting through the BS, holding our grounds, holding authenticity, feeling stable within ourselves, to really speak up and wait for the truth to come in, and it will come in, okay? There's the shadow banning of the social media. So why are we being directed to think and feel oppressed? It's happening so much right now, and some people will feel it more than ever before. But what I see here as an end result, and here as we come together and stand for right, is the dark is not getting their way. They definitely do on YouTube. That's how the growth happens. People are angered, you know. Here we've got people that are feeling isolated, people that are angered. The human right has a right to express and speak. And you know, if we don't speak and express, how many of us have not been able to do that with our family? And then the family member thinks that they're right and they're just gaslighting. That really hurts when you can't speak. You suppress your expression, your emotions. It really can make us ill as well. So we see through everything, and we're actually expressing the lack of transparency here, the overshadowing on social media, on we had the justice card here, there's the online card, and around the world we had the justice card, if you remember here, which really says about, you know, what is being dictated. But the dark by us is being met with resistance right now. So if you remember in my past predictions, I've always said that people are going to be tested little ways to see what they jump on board of or what they resist. This was last year, and I said it would be big for this year. And if it blows up in proportions, like if they introduce a new policy or they try to, I don't know, move something forward in a certain way, and there's certain pushback, they might backstep if it leads into furious, and I'm seeing fires, right? Like protests in the street with, you know, those small firework things thrown in the middle of the street, fire. And anger is going to be directed where it needs to be. At the moment, it's going in the Western region, it's going against ourselves as well as the right people. Right people like that, I say it, because there's some people in power that are the fingers pointed towards them, but there's behind them this matrix setup. People are afraid to say the wrong word or even a thought, you know, and there's suppression and oppression here more than ever. Because we see now, when we don't see, we can't feel oppressed as much. Like the 10 to 5 year card layout I did. It's going to be hard for a new world to balance and truth to shine through, but it's coming with the Sun card, right? We see it with the Sun card. It's just unfortunate that there is going to be a lot of human loss, a lot of silencing, a lot of displacing of people, and I'm talking about the war areas as well here. But there is this Sun card I keep coming back to, and there's a complete transformation. Split the deck. Look, and we will, upon time, celebrate and come together in the right way. We've got the Two of Cups twice. To have that freedom of speech, to be able to make the discerning judgment, okay, and stand with authentic power. I'm going to pull some final cards. Let's do it from this deck, seeing as I've not taken much. So we do see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to be for some time. Now, I would say check my Elon Musk reading when it comes out, because I do believe that he is going to be a part of this, and I believe him and Trump, not a part of this freedom of speech, are going to be up to something very big. I'm going to go into that even more after the elections, because I will let you know why I choose after the elections. But let's just get any final messages in terms of what I've just said there. So I think within a year, not now exactly, within the year, you're going to see trickles of it improving, okay? Where, you know, it's clear what sites are doing this. It's clear that they're losing. It's clear that you've got people like Elon Musk that are continuing to allow that freedom of speech. Final messages from Spirit, please. See, there is the... Pull these out. Oh, I didn't realize these were from here. We'll put them back. There is the healing of it, the healing of being able to say what you want, especially it's looking at social media, okay? Wherever you see a difference, and the people, they're not going to come at you where you don't know who's coming at you, and suddenly an existence is gone from earth. Remember, recently I did a reading on the journalist, the Saudi journalist, you know, and what I predicted, and that person's karma's coming for them, right? You don't have to agree with me. I believe in politics, we are going to have our differences, but, you know, that's the way politics is. And for me, it's a losing battle to lose people over politics, because they will not look twice at you in your direct direction, okay? Let's pull more cards for the final message. The Sword of Truth. Lies are going to be revealed more and more. And we know that. Look at that. The third eye that gets stronger. There's the oppression, right? There is the oppression. But what you find is that more people are coming to the aid here. You know, there's more people that are coming to the aid of people that feel they've been left out in the cold because they have a viewpoint expressed through love, okay? People slowly starting, more and more people, because there's still people, by the way, that are just like whatever consciousness. I don't want to insult or compliment anyone, let's put it that way, that are not seeing the same. There's disparities. And more people will slowly start to see it. Now, whether they want to choose to see it or not, it's up to them. And there's a fear. The fear that we fear at the moment, told to look at the bottom of the deck, the High Priestess, the fear that we feel at the moment, and we feel it intuitively, inner peace is going to be coming through, even felt on an individual level and a collective level, when we are able to express, when people are able to say, yeah, I don't agree with you, but you know what, I still love you, or I still follow you, or I still say hi to you. For example, you might have a Christian and a Muslim friend, let's say. You won't go to your Muslim friend and say hello in a Jewish dialect, because you know what you're doing there. You say hello, right? Or you say, the word is salam, right? Which means hi, peace upon you. And it's kind of like those things where we just know not to, to irritate a situation. And I'm seeing, when you've got a wound here and someone keeps scratching it and it doesn't heal, but I see here inner peace as we're able to, like I said, individually feel heard and not in fear, and then collectively. I just want to pull a card from this deck because Spirit has been telling me to. Final messages. I thought I had my animal deck here, but I do. Final messages. For now, where we're at. It got stuck in my hand, so I'll take it, but I do want... No, Spirit is saying this one mainly. Yeah, okay. So we've got Inner Set Oracle, right? So this is a card 8. We're in an 8th year. We're coming to an end of it. You are the channel, deja vu, self-fulfilling prophecy. Exactly. Can you see the justice scales? Stop being in a self-fulfilling prophecy. That is what I mean in terms of some people waking up. Archangel Michael coming together with your community. The heart warrior, the divine protection, the synchronicity. This is the advice we've got at the moment, right? So Archangel Michael, let's start with that. We know that he's very strong, Archangel Michael, and he's respected angel in all faiths, right? He's mentioned in the Holy Bible. He's mentioned in the Quran. He's mentioned whether you're a spiritualist. He's mentioned all over the place. I don't know if he's mentioned in the Torah. I don't know if he's mentioned in the Jewish, I've forgotten the name, if it is Torah. But I definitely think he's mentioned in all religions, even in spiritual concepts. And as a guardian angel, that really helps us be aligned with faith in the will of God, and also assists us that when we're feeling trapped, lost, or bound to fear, whether it's in the earth-bound or the astral plane, Archangel Michael is showing up our messages right now. With the inner oracle here, we see the Justice Libra cycle, which we're coming out. We're going into Scorpio cycle. And here what you need to know is receiving the knowledge of wisdom that is offered from really looking into yourself, illuminating, looking into yourself, and looking at things that might come up that might feel like they're signs, life affirming, and will help you know that you're on the right path, okay? So when we see the signs, looking out that there's certain transformations, see that sign and feel gratitude. here some of us really need to have those powerful realizations still, and some of us are staying within like ancestral beliefs, and this can be triggered, okay, and it can trigger your deep centered self because you're in a newer world and you might not be living in it, and you might not realize that you're suppressing yourself. Here is the inner oracle that's often buried within us. So discovering it, whether it's past mistakes, whether it's bad choices, ego of the self, your relationships, others, and just remember the connection can trigger internal defenses, making it difficult to maintain like solid connection with yourself and with others and with what we need to see clearly and stand for in terms of freedom of speech. Okay, so know that we are all constantly learning, and you can illuminate your presence with each and every lesson that you learn along the way if you choose to learn it. So this is what I have for you on the freedom of speech. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do like, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.